So it's time to talk about the man that's been in the news a lot. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Raptors. I'm your host, Atasham, my channel where you get reviews, analysis, predictions, and hot takes on all things Raptors as well as some NBA. So today's video is going to be reviewing the main player, one of the main players for the Raptors in the series of reviews about the players of the Raptors. And today is going to be starting with OG ANUNOBY. And the primary reason is because he's been in the news and a lot of trade rumors. So without further ado, let's talk OG ANUNOBY. Now, when we drafted OG ANUNOBY, we got kind of lucky because he was injured and he fell through the draft in our hands, right? But he was a very surprising player. His defensive prowess it's been amazing. He is a defensive demon, and his offensive game has started to grow, and it's been growing consistently for the past seasons. So, if I was to assess OG's season this time, I think the first positive would be that he improved his points per game. He moved from, I think it's 15.4 to 17.1 per game, which is not bad, especially given the amount of weapons that the Raptors have for OG ANUNOBY to get that many points. And he was efficient on most of the days. Most of the nights, he would take about 14 shots and, hit about 50% from the floor, and that's what his average was, right? He did, drop in his three-point shooting this season a little bit. It's down from, I think, 43 to 41, something like that. And his free throw percentage is down from 78% to 72%. So his numbers have gone down. But do I think, it impacts us too much in those senses? No, because what we need OG ANUNOBY to do was to start being more aggressive on the offensive end, and that's exactly what the points per game show, that he was trying to score more. And his shot attempts went up from 10 to 14 per game, almost, on average. So that shows you OG is trying a little bit more, and especially, like I said, with the offensive weapons that we have, and a team that tends to share the ball a lot more, it's hard for one guy to get 25, 26 shots, especially a guy who's considered the third option. Now, the second positive I saw from OG ANUNOBY's game was his defense. It seems like his defense is going to remain consistent, and he kept that up even with all the injuries that he suffered. He was still active. He was still rebounding. He kept his rebounding at 5.5. He made sure he was able to defend all the different, from 1 to 5, actually. He took on centers. He took on Joel Embiid when he wasn't injured. And he did a pretty damn good job at it. People, struggle against him. Jason Tatum really didn't score much against us, especially when OG ANUNOBY was defending him. Or, Devin Booker, or all of these, young stars that are coming up. OG tends to lock them up, and that shows that his offensive game is improving, but he's not letting his defense get lagging, right? He was still really, really good on the defensive end, and he's kind of our anchor on the defense, right? When he plays, there's a different, there's a different energy on the defensive end, because we know as soon as we switch, OG ANUNOBY is going to be there somehow. So that was another positive. Now, this is not a complete positive. It's not a complete negative. But one thing I did notice is OG ANUNOBY's handle got slightly better. He was struggling in the start of the season with it, but it got better, especially when he came back in the late season. I think it was after the All-Star break injury or something like that. It was a little bit better. He was tighter on his dribbles. It wasn't too high. He was able to move without the ball. He was able to get the spin moves going and everything like that. And that showed a slight improvement. Now, would I have liked to see a lot more? Yes. Why? Because that has been one of the most issues with OG ANUNOBY. He's compared to Kawhi Leonard because of his playing both defense and offensive game. But Kawhi has a handle, bro. I get it's that damn long-ass hands, but OG's been working on this handle for a very, very long time. It just seems like it's coming, through very, very slow. And that's just, it was disappointing to see, because I expected him to have a really better handle. especially from the start of the season, and then improving, not improving after the All-Star break of some sort. So that is a mixed bag. Now, things that OG Anunoby needs to improve on. Number one is staying healthy. For some reason, he is very injury prone. It seems like every time he gets into a rhythm, he suffers some sort of injury. Now, that could be just bad luck. That could be his body himself. But it's getting to him, man. For the past 2 seasons, he's only played around 45 games on average. This season, he played 48. The season before, he played 43. Why? Because he's injured most of the time. And we need him to play consistently so he can improve his game. You get better, handle, you get better shooting, you get better 2-point shooting by playing the game. There's only so much you can learn in practice. So he needs to stay healthy, and that's one of his negatives, man. He just can't seem to stay healthy. And the second negative for OG Anunoby that I've seen is it seems like his balance is off. Every time he tries to drive to the bucket or try to do something that you see other stars doing, he tends to trip. And that causes a break in his rhythm, and I don't know what the hell it does to him. And that just, he needs to improve on that. I don't know if it's his shoes. I don't know what the hell's going on with him, but he needs to get better at that, man. Because he's so big. He's athletic. He needs to be able to get to the bucket without tripping or without, losing his footing or balance. Because that would assist him in the third issue that I have with his game right now is finishing around the basket. He needs to have a better fadeaway, better post play. He's gotten better at it, but it isn't up to the mark just yet. Like even Scotty Barnes' game is so good around the rim. So that's something that OG really needs to improve on, and that has to do with balance. I don't know why his balance is off, but maybe it's just he's too muscular on the top, not enough on the legs. Maybe. I don't know what it is, but that's something that he's going to have to fix. And I believe in OG Anunoby, man. This is one guy who's put in the work, who nobody really gave a shit about in the draft because he was injured and they didn't think he had an offensive game, and he has stepped his ass up. He's killer from the corner. He is improving his shot every time he hits the floor, and he's getting more consistent and more efficient. So those were the 3 negatives I saw in OG Anunoby's game. So if I had to grade any OG Anunoby overall for this season, and it's primarily because he was injured, I would give him a C+. Nothing higher than that because I expected more from OG Anunoby, honestly, in regards to his handle, in regards to being more aggressive. Yes, he increased his points per game from 15.4 to 17.1, but that's not enough. He should have done more. He should have been more aggressive. I get it, we're a team that tends to share this and that, but I feel like OG Anunoby is a killer, and he's our future. He can be a guy like Jason Tatum if he just stays healthy, or Kawhi Leonard, even better. He just needs to stay healthy. He needs to just, be more aggressive in his offense, and that is exactly what I want to see from OG Anunoby in the next season. Be like, damn, Pascal. Damn, Freddie. I got this. I'm the guy who's going to do this. And what makes me believe that is that shot in the bubble against Boston Celtics. When he nailed this shot to get us to the game where we had a chance to make it to the Eastern Conference Final. So I believe in OG Anunoby. This is not a knock on him. But, you got to be as realistic and as, objective as you possibly can. Now, the reason I started with OG Anunoby is because he's been in a lot of trade rumors, and there are some shitty trades out there that people are proposing. Rudy Gobert for OG Anunoby, Gary Trent Jr., first round pick in the future. Are you kidding me? Rudy Gobert, that guy's garbage. That guy is garbage. He's defensive player because he's 7'2". Okay? Other than that, pick and roll, tiny guards are going to get his ass every time. We don't need that guy. Now, do I want to trade OG Anunoby? No, I do not, because I don't think it's too early to decide that right now. But if a good offer like the Blazers bring in, Anfernee Simons and the 7th pick in the first draft this year, that's a possibility. You might, think about it, especially given the issues with OG Anunoby's health and the development of Scotty Barnes. But do I want to say that you pull that trigger right now? Hell no. Unless that offer is on the table. But otherwise, play it out, man. we are definitely going to be better as long as OG stays healthy, because every time he stays healthy, we are that damn good team, both offensively and defensively. So that's all I have for you guys for reviewing of OG ANUNOBY's season as well as his growth. Please hit that like and subscribe button and stay tuned for my next video next week.